Coming up next on Look News, residents in Lake George have their voices heard on locating a casino in their community. Plus, have you tried acupuncture? A local studio opens its doors for free sessions. And helping couples and their families get through divorce, we learn more about mediation. Look News is next. Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm David Storey. State lawmakers have met this week to discuss moving forward with a second vote on legalizing casino gambling here in New York and putting the proposal to a referendum this fall. State police say a Saratoga County man is being killed in an ATV accident in the Adirondacks. Well, the Glens Falls area is a little more relaxed this evening after a local acupuncture studio offered free treatments today. The acupuncture studio on Warren Street in the city participating in Community Acupuncture and National Community Acupuncture Free Treatment Day. A local medical device manufacturer working to get its liver cancer fighting system to market has hit another roadblock. Welcome back. This week, the New York State Council on Divorce Mediation will have its 30th annual conference in Saratoga Springs. Bobby Dillon is the organization's president, a mediator, and trainer for the Mediation Center located in Pittsford, New York, out by Rochester. Welcome to Look News.
Thank you, Dave.
Welcome to the Tri-Counties as well. We appreciate
beautiful
you
area,
by.
Beautiful day.
And you've got some great weather for your conference. I guess the best place to start is what divorce mediation is, if a lot of people perhaps don't know what it is.
Sure. So there are lots of options when families are considering going through separation or a divorce.
A Glens Falls man is behind bars accused of buying his mentally ill wife a gun, showing her how to use it, and leaving her home alone to end her life. The community coming together in Glens Falls tonight to light a candle for those lost in the Connecticut school shooting. Hurricane Sandy causes thousands of dollars in dock damage here in Lake George. I'm David Storey. I've got details coming up. A Glens Falls man is behind bars accused of buying his mentally ill wife a gun, showing her how to use it, and leaving her home alone to end her life. It was here at 49 Leonard Street that 59-year-old Kathy Skelly was found dead from a self-inflicted gunshot wound on Saturday morning. Her husband, 69-year-old Willard Skelly, was not home at the time of her death, but is now accused with assisting in her suicide.
He gave a statement to the police in which he admits that he purchased a gun, knowing at his wife's request that she had a history of mental illness and that she very much wanted to commit suicide. And he actually helped instruct her on how to use the weapon.
Police say Skelly was questioned and charged Sunday with second-degree manslaughter after failing a lie detector test. Warren County District Attorney Kate Hogan hopes to strike the right balance between justice and compassion, pointing out that Skelly didn't endanger the public.
What we want to make sure we do is hold him accountable for what he did, because it is a crime, and we recognize that he needs to be held accountable. But there also are a lot of factors that weigh in showing compassion with respect to the disposition.
Skelly told police that his wife suffered from mental illness, was in her room 24 hours a day, every day, and tried to kill herself earlier this year, slitting her wrists and throat.
I can say this, that in our community there are a lot of very capable, well-trained mental health providers. In the criminal justice system, we have people who are afflicted with mental health illness all the time. Alcoholism and drug addiction are DSM-4 diagnoses. So I don't think that anyone in this community should hesitate to make a call.
Willard Skelly is being held in the Warren County Jail on $100,000 bail. The community coming together in Glens Falls tonight to light a candle for those lost in the Connecticut school shooting. Members of a local church gathered in silence this evening at Centennial Circle in downtown Glens Falls to show their respects for those lost in last Friday's shooting at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut.
And I do believe that the power of love can overcome the deepest, darkest evil.
Local members of the Adirondack Friends meeting based in South Glens Falls joining together as 3 more young children were laid to rest today following the tragic shooting which claimed 20 children and 6 adults. Regina Haig is the church's minister and says for the many parents in her congregation, this tragedy is hitting close to home.
It's because we know that but for the grace of God, there goes our children and our community. And it's really scary to think that that could happen, but it's entirely possible.
Tonight's candlelight vigil in Glens Falls, just one of many happening across the nation tonight. In Glens Falls, for CBS 6 News, I'm David Storey. Hurricane Sandy blew through our area overnight with winds of more than 40 miles per hour, turning the waters of Lake George into an angry ocean, lashing against the village docks.
Yeah, we were down here early on, like I said, probably 4 o'clock or so. They were starting to pick up pretty good, and the spray was actually landing out on the road. It looked like the ocean, Yeah, it was pretty intense.
The pressure of those waves crushing one of the village's public docks.
The waves were pretty significant early on yesterday, even before we really had much of the storm here. The lake picked up. The waves were pretty intense, but really we didn't have a lot of damage anywhere near that we did for Irene. Last year when we had Irene, we lost almost all of our docks. This year we just had one that was damaged.
Department of Public Works Chief David Harrington says the goal now is to find money to replace these damaged docks. He says it's not in the budget, but they're applying for grant funds.
We're hoping to get them replaced in the spring. I know that the 3 that we put in were over $100,000, so probably in that neighborhood this year to replace the next 3.
And you have that money in the budget?
Well, no, actually, prior to this, we put in a grant application to the Department of State to have these docks replaced anyways after Irene, so we're still keeping our fingers crossed on that.
Harrington says that his crew spent much of the day traveling around the village looking for other damage. The good news, it seems Lake George weathered the storm just fine. For CBS 6 News, I'm David Storey.